how's 2021 going?
Yeah, not too bad. It's a little bit tough, but
Yeah,
everyone has to sort of deal with it at this stage. So I'm just trying to, get through it and do what I can do right, and just wait for the season to start again.
yeah. So before starting the interview, I would like to ask you, please reveal your identity, that whether it's UK, whether it's Hong Kong, or whether it's India.
I'm in India right now.
Yeah,
I'm just spending some time with my family over in Bhubaneswar.
yeah,
Due to COVID times, it's kind of important to stay close to family.
yeah,
So that's what I'm doing right now.
yeah.
But I'm in India here.
So finally, you hold an Indian passport.
Yeah. So ever since I was born, I had an Indian passport. So I use
Okay.
that to come to India.
Yeah. And then how did your journey begin from India to Hong Kong and then again back to India?
I was born and raised in Hong Kong. I grew up playing most of my cricket over there, and
Yeah,
you know, that's where I kind of learned, the basic level of cricket, and that's where I fell in love with it at first. And then after that, I
yeah,
went off to the UK for boarding school. Uh, for me, that was a stepping stone towards, going into that next level, and it's something
yeah,
that I look back as a career defining moment, that sense of professionalism, that high level of training, getting involved in a full system, that was all very important, going hand in hand with my education as well was all important. And then,
yeah,
constantly playing for Hong Kong at the same time as well, was key as well in order to get that exposure that everyone needs. And eventually, down the line, I decided to come to India. India is obviously the mecca of cricket, and
yeah,
it's where people are made in terms of cricketers. So I just thought that I've always loved a challenge ever since I was young.
yeah,
So for me, it's important to go out there and give it all, and I decided to come to India.
yeah. And I was actually going to ask you this question, that why did you choose India? Because it's like competing with billions of people.
Yeah, it is. India is not
Yeah,
easy. You look at the amount of talent that's out there, it's
yeah,
astronomical. But for me, my history, I always wanted a challenge. I've
yeah,
never shied away from anything. Being raised by Indian parents in Hong Kong and then doing your schooling in the UK alone, it kind of
yeah,
prepares you mentally for anything. And I was
yeah,
mentally ready to take on the challenge that is India. And 10,
yeah,
15, 20 years down the line, when my career does come to its end, I'm not going to look back with any regrets. Whereas had I not come, I probably would have always wondered, what if I didn't take the plunge and decided to give it my all.
yeah. And then coming back to India, you have come back with so much of COVID cases all around. So how is it to live in UK and Hong Kong and then coming back to India, which is like, oh my God, where am I now?
Yeah, it wasn't easy. You kind of get used to a certain way of living, and your
Yeah,
friends, your family, everyone's around you, and then to suddenly have to bounce around, it's not easy. But
yeah,
throughout my entire growing up, and all my cricket kind of
yeah,
took me away from my family and friends for a large amount of time.
yeah,
Touring for months on end and playing for Hong Kong and all that. So it kind of did prepare me for India in that
yeah,
sense. I'm not saying that it's easy. It's obviously still very difficult, and it was a little bit of a shock when I first came. But looking
yeah,
back, I believe that I've adjusted well, and at the end of the day, cricket is the main focus right now. So all other things
yeah.
are external distractions.
And after coming to India, you were like, was it difficult for you to compete with others and also the change in environment and everything?
Yeah, it was at the start. It definitely was a little bit difficult. Everyone has, the moment they see you, the judgments all start. That's something that's pretty common in India.
Yeah,
And that's something that I was aware of coming into it. But all I just tried to focus on was the cricket side of things and just focus on doing the things that I can control. And that's the main reason.
Who led the Hong Kong national team and as a captain, so how was it to lead the team also on the international platform and playing against so many world-class teams like India?
Yeah, it was good. Obviously, leading the side, at 20 did have its challenges. Most of our players were of Pakistan descent and all that, and it's quite difficult sometimes to manage the egos in the team because they're raised to understand that you must respect elders, whereas I was one of the youngest in the team and I was captaining it, so it did have its challenges, but it definitely made me grow as a player and as a person as well. You kind of understand the different dynamics that go on in a team and understand what happens and how to manage players and manage expectations and what they expect from you as a captain and what you expect from them, as a captain. So it's it definitely did make me grow as a player.
Yeah, and also that you have been associated with the Hong Kong team since very long. So what do you think? What are the points they are lagging behind? And also they are the associate members. What points do they need to cover to become a full member?
I think if you look at associate cricket, not just associate cricket, even, domestic cricket in India, there's so much talent out there that the only thing that's required is just exposure to more higher level cricket. You take Afghanistan as an example, they're a team that have really been backed by the ICC and they're in the top 10 right now. You look at so many domestic players, in India itself is, phenomenal players, but they just don't get a chance because of the state they're from or just lack of backing. So there's so much talent out there that I just think it's, it's more exposure, it's more matches, it's more high level cricket that'll get, those mediocre teams into the next stage, because there's a lot of talent out there. The one thing that does lack is consistency. And in order to get consistency is you have to literally play, at that level constantly. And, that's something that I believe needs to improve on the associate level stage.
Yeah. And also throw some light on 2018 Asia Cup when your team were playing against India. How was that day?
Yeah, it was good. It was brilliant. We had played Pakistan a few days before and we'd lost that. Quite convincingly, we'd lost that game. And, we had team meetings and all, trying to decide how to get the Indian batsman out. And we kind of just stopped the meeting halfway through and just said, guys, just enjoy it, enjoy the moment and embrace it. And, leading up to the India game, it didn't really hit me as to what I was about to do because, we had quite a few media interviews and I had to go, sort some stuff out. And, I was quite preoccupied before that. So it didn't really hit me. But then, arriving at the ground, Dubai International Stadium, you rock up, get changed into your national colors, and then you go out for the anthem. And, listening to the, Indian national anthem, was an emotional moment for me. Growing up, I always watched India play. And that's when it really sunk in that, I'm about to play against the powerhouse that is India, against my home nation, essentially. So, yeah, it was a very proud moment and something that I'll never forget.
I know this is a very stupid kind of question and it's like a more fan question than a professional question, but is it like while playing against India, you know that you belong to India, so let's be a little lenient on batting or something like that?
In fact, it kind of motivated me more. Even though it was India, I kind of wanted to prove to everyone that I can play at this level. Being an associate cricketer, you're always pigeonholed as, that level where you can't play above. I've seen it. I've experienced it myself. And there's a lot of insecurity that goes on in associate cricket in itself. You're always playing for funding or for your place in the side. It's very hit and miss. So, that was a nice way to sort of keep my mind at ease and say that I do belong at this level. And it kind of Sorry. In fact, it motivated me the other way around into trying to perform even better, yeah, against the better nations.
Yeah. And it is nice that now from Hong Kong you have come here in India, and now hopefully we can see you playing for India rather than against India.
Yeah, that's that's the end goal. I
Yeah.
still haven't decided where to go yet, but at the end of the day, I have come here for a purpose and for a reason. And at the end of the day, if I don't make it, then that's okay. But I'm never gonna look back and say, oh, I didn't give it a go, or I didn't give it my all. So I'm very excited for the journey that is to come, and let's see how things unfold.
Yeah, hopefully it will go well. And now coming to the next question, that you've played for Hong Kong and now you're playing in the Indian conditions. What differences do you feel are pointable in the aspects of the aura, coaches, pitches, and everything?
Yeah, it's definitely different in India. You have so much quantity that sometimes it is quite hard to find quality in terms of coaches, in terms of pitches, in terms of everything. You just have so many people that it's quite hard to manage. And the one thing that's stuck with me, throughout my entire career is not to go chasing training or chasing everything. It's just let things come naturally and always look for quality over quantity. So that's something that I've tried to hone in on and do. And the wickets are obviously slower here, much slower. So adapting to those conditions is it took me a little bit of time, but you kind of eventually get used to it. And tailor making and adapting your game to different conditions is something that having international experience playing all over the world has kind of helped me in that aspect by coming here and trying to play in these conditions.
Yeah. And with this, last we'll move to a rapid fire round. But before moving to the rapid fire round, any message for your fans or for any cricketer who wants to play in foreign?
Yeah, I just say keep it simple and enjoy it. At the end of the day, we're playing a sport. We're not. We're playing a sport to enjoy it. And as long as you go out there and you enjoy what you do, success will come eventually. Just work hard and just enjoy what you do. That's the moment you don't enjoy it is the moment everything starts to go wrong. So that's probably the one fundamental thing that I would say. No matter what level you're playing, make sure you're always enjoying the game, because you're never bigger than the game.
Yeah, good advice to the budding cricketers. For this, I want to ask you the Harbhajan incident.
Oh, yeah. So I was on Twitter one day, and my Twitter was exploding. I have no idea why, and I was getting so many messages, and I had no idea why. And I'd seen a video of Harbhajan at I don't know what it was. I think he was with Kedar or something, and it was like a TV talk show, and they were and Harbhajan basically said that I will give 100 rupees to anyone who can hit Kedar Jadhav for 6 off the back foot, because of his slingy action. And then I saw a lot of my friends and a few fans basically tagged me in that and said, you did that. So I said, go on, let me give him a little cheeky reply. So I decided to basically call him out on it and say that he basically owes me 100 rupees.
Yeah. So did he pay you anyway?
No, not yet. Not yet. When I do come across him eventually one day, I will claim my reward. But it's definitely something that I need to collect. It's something that I need to collect.
Yeah, hopefully you'll get one day. Yeah. So now from the rapid fire section, we have the very first question, and it's that the name you want to give to your own T20 franchisee, if you had one.
I'd probably say ASK, Anshuman Super Kings.
Okay, by your name? Wow.
Yeah, I have to put my own name in it. My team.
Yeah. Yeah. The another one is a person you don't want to sit beside during long flights.
I had this one teammate called Ehsan Khan from Hong Kong, and lovely guy, but on long haul flights, he's the last person you want to sit next to because I don't think the guy has an off button most of the time. He just keeps yapping and yapping. And when I'm on a
Yeah.
plane, I've got my headphones in and I'm zoning out. So I think he would be quite irritating on a plane.
Okay. And the another one is the best lunch is served in which stadium according to you?
Lords, definitely.
Okay. A celebrity which can turn you on as a giggly fanboy.
Rafael Nadal.
Okay. And if anyone from India?
I would probably say, is that not, doesn't have to be cricket?
No.
I'd probably
Anyone. Anyone.
say, Disha Patani.
Okay. Yeah. Which batting partner made you worry? Like for a run out?
Uh, Ehsan Khan, same guy. He's run me out a few times actually. He's again
Yeah.
very hyper guy, and he's before you hit the ball, he's already halfway down the wicket. So he's someone that I am very scared with running between the wicket.
Yeah. Another one is a fifer or a century.
Century any day.
Okay. A Hong Kong slang you'd like to see used in the Indian cricket.
There's one Cantonese word that has been used a few times. It's called ga yao, and in Cantonese,
Okay.
it basically it kind of is like an encouragement to other players and other teams. And so
Yeah.
whenever we have our games in Hong Kong, sometimes our fans they cheer ga yao, ga yao.
Yeah.
So that's probably the other words I probably won't be allowed to say on Instagram Live because it's kind of a bit sensitive. But apart from that, I'll probably say ga yao.
Okay. And the last one is short-term goals or plans. Just quick.
Short-term goals to break into the first-class system over here, and then
Yeah.
long-term goals. Obviously, every domestic player's dream is to bleed blue. So that's something that's something on my
Yeah.
long-term list.
Yeah. And did you think that from which domestic side you want to continue further?
It's undecided at the moment. Still, with
Okay.
COVID and everything that's happened, it's kind of ruined my
Yeah.
timelines a little bit. But it's something
Yeah.
that's in discussions at the moment, and I'll
Yeah.
just basically come to a decision pretty soon. Hopefully in the upcoming season.
Yeah. And we have some fan questions for you. And one is, can you say a line in Hindi?
Can I say a line in Hindi?
Yeah.
I can, but I'll probably save my Hindi speaking for a little bit later because I want to keep a surprise up my sleeve every now and again.
But you can speak in Hindi or no?
Most of my Hindi has been learnt through films when I was younger, so it's not the
Yeah.
greatest of it's not the greatest Hindi, but yeah, it's enough. It's good enough.
Okay. And another one is any new awful tattoos? I don't know what tattoos he's talking about. You have any tattoos?
Mm, I do have one
Okay.
on my ribs, but no plans on getting another one.
Okay. Okay. Fine. And at what point did you realize that you had a shot at playing for India from Rohan, your ex-teammate? I don't know. He's asking some questions related to the HK Hong Kong team.
Uh, when I was younger, obviously I'd always wanted to play for India. It was always a dream of mine. But
Yeah.
living in Hong Kong, going to school in the UK, it's very difficult to do that. But then
Yeah.
obviously performing well for Hong Kong on the international stage and then playing against India and doing not only playing, captaining and doing well against India, that kind of gave me the reality check that I needed, saying, I can compete at the level over there. I know there's a billion people in India, but who's to say that I can't compete? I've never shied away from competition. So for me, that was the that was the moment where I said, okay, it's time to push on rather than just stay at the same level, which is when I decided to come to India.
Yeah. And with this, we come to an end of the question round as well. And thank you for joining in. Anything you want to say before we end the live?
No, nothing else. Nothing else. All good.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you
Have a
very
good
much.
evening.
You too. You too.